Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Noon with Natalie. My name's Natalie Mayott. I own Master Your Authentic Voice. I'm a speaking and presentation skills coach, and I'm also the creator of the Teen Talk program where I coach teens on how to be great presenters. But more importantly, today, I have a special guest. Actually, all my guests are special, but she is extra special because she is in Berlin, Germany today. Her name is Claudia Garbutt. I want to tell you a little bit about her. She has some special mindset coaching. So she is a mindset coach for driven female entrepreneurs who want to shatter invisible ceilings and up-level their business and life. We all want that. And as a former molecular biologist, she uses a holistic science-based approach to help you leverage the power or your mind so that you can create more inner peace, income, and impact. That is some pretty powerful stuff, Claudia. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Oh, and I just said to you before, I'm super excited to be connecting, across the pond, as we say. So I don't want to keep you too long, but tell me, so you were a molecular biologist. How did you make this leap and become a mindset coach?
Yeah, that's quite a leap there, right? So it has been quite a rocky road, I can tell you that much. So when I got, let's start in 2015 when my son was born. I was still living in New Zealand. I was working on a PhD project at the time in physiology, but my scholarship had already run out, so I wasn't getting paid to work. I was paying to work there, and also my research funding had run out, which meant that we didn't even have the money to finish up our experiments in the lab. So that was already, I would say, far from ideal. And then we found out that I was pregnant again, just 6 months after our son was born.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. So we decided it was best to go back to Germany just to be a little bit closer to my family.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And to be totally honest, during those first 2 or maybe even 3 years of being a new mom, I didn't have any energy to just even think about going back to work because it was so overwhelming. My 2 little kids, they were really fuzzy babies, so they cried a lot, they didn't sleep much, and I basically ran on a couple of hours of sleep a night and a lot of caffeine. So it took some time before I had the headspace to think a little clearer again and decide what I wanted to do going forward. So I knew I wanted to find another line of work, something that was more flexible and allowed me to be there for my kids. And I also wanted to find something that was just a little more fulfilling than spending my entire day in a lab, just hidden away in the lab. So I thought it would have to be something I could do online, just because that was something that seemed like the only option that would offer me the kind of flexibility that I was looking for. Yet I had no clue as to what kind of job I could find online.
The beast of the online.
Yeah, it was just so different. And being a biologist was so deeply ingrained into my personality. Like, it was what I identified with.
Okay.
So it was really difficult to even think outside the box, if you want.
Yeah.
And so I started dabbling with photography and design and blogging, just because those were things that I enjoyed at the time, and I knew I could do them online. So I just started there, because we all have to start somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the one hand, I really enjoyed the creative side of things, but on the other hand, I felt lonely because I was missing the human connection, and I still felt quite lost because I missed being a scientist, or just like the scientific work.
Yeah. Using the tools you have.
Yeah. And I was also so terrified because just starting something completely new it activated a whole bunch of fears I had. I struggled with imposter syndrome, and the fear of rejection, and the fear of judgment, and the fear of failure, all the fears, like everything. And then all those fears and anxieties, they really, really held me back big time. And I noticed that I found excuses not to do the things that I knew I should be doing, just to gain more visibility or to sell more of the digital products that I created. And so I noticed that I kind of hid behind my computer, and I was busy doing things. So I did all the busy work that just got me nowhere. And then talking to other people online, I noticed that it wasn't just me experiencing these kind of fears and all those negative emotions. And I started to notice all the common negative thought patterns that appeared everywhere around me and all the self-sabotaging behavior. And it made me dive deeper into analyzing what was actually going on and why we do all these things. And I started to learn about all the different mindset pieces and why we do all the things. And I was hooked. So it felt like, it was so cool because it felt like somehow I arrived right where I was supposed to be, at this kind of an intersection of so many different scientific fields, from psychology to sociology, and there's even some biochemistry and physics and math if you dive down deep enough.
So you came to these conclusions, and obviously you use your background as a scientist. So can mindset really affect our physical reality? I mean, I think I know the answer, but tell me a little bit more about, if it does really affect.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. There are still a lot of people out there who think that mindset is just this airy fairy concept that doesn't have any real measurable results.
A little woohoo. I call it woohoo, yes.
Exactly. And that's simply not true, because there have been lots of scientific studies that show that different mindsets, they can directly influence things like your pain perception or your cognitive abilities or inflammation in your body, your body's hormone system, and even the activity of your gene expression, which is amazing. So it's as real as it gets, I can tell you that much.
Absolutely.
And in general, it's fair to say that you will get the results that your beliefs allow you to get. So that's something to keep in mind. And I mean, those things I just mentioned, those are things that are easily measured in a scientific setting. But there are also things like success or fulfillment or happiness that are not easily measured.
Absolutely.
But when you talk to super successful people, or you read their biographies or their books, then you will notice that a huge part of their success is their mindset, because that's allowed them to get where they are now, right?
Oh, and I actually had a bit of a mindset block yesterday, and I think I overcame it, but I designed this online course, and I met somebody, and he said, well, why isn't it out? And I said, I don't know. And I do believe it was the fear of the unknown, because like you, I do things online, but I coach live too. And for me, coaching live is much more effective than, I believe, online. But I'm sure there are people that are not ready to hire somebody online, but maybe a course is something. And I thought, you know what, just got to do it. And I hit the send. Yay. So I hit the send on my own. But if you had to give one, piece of advice, what is the one thing that we need to understand to really make that shift, to start priming ourselves to have a successful mind? What is it, the one thing that, I mean, I know you have tons of content that you can share, but what's your first go-to?
I think the most important thing, or the critical thing to understand, is that your experiences are not the objective truth. And this is, when you think about it, this is so powerful. Everything that we experience is just subjective interpretations of signals and events and circumstances in your life. And this is really true on every level when you think about it, because at the basis of our experiences, there are our 5 senses, right? So we tend to think that those senses, they show us the objective truth, but that's just not the case. So for example, if, let's just say, what we experience as, say, the color red, that it is just the way that our brain interprets certain wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum. So there is no such thing as the color red. It's just an interpretation of your brain. So of your brain and your mind. So everything we experience is just an interpretation of our brain and our mind. So when you change your mindset, you really change your experiences. And that's what the magic of mindset is all about. So when you align your mindset with your personal and your business goals, it allows you to achieve your goals without losing the joy along the way. I think that's a big thing.
So if you don't know your goals yet, your personal and business goals, that would be the first thing that you need to do. So to be able to align that mindset along with it. I love it. That makes total sense. I coach clients to find their speaking values all the time so that they can feel more confident when they're up on, in front of that big crowd. Makes total sense. So the audience is watching, Claudia. How do they get in touch with you? What's the best way for them to reach out to find out about how you can help them?
Oh, the best way would probably be to find my Facebook group, which is called the Visionary Female Entrepreneurs. So they can find the group and join me there.
I'm going to put the link. I'll put the link in the note section.
That would be awesome. So I'm doing weekly live trainings over there, and I hope to build a really engaged and supportive community. So they're welcome to join.
Excellent. And there's a community that's pretty worldwide, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You have people from a bit around it. Excellent. So once again, I have Claudia Garbutt with me from Berlin, Germany. She's a mindset coach. My name's Natalie. I own Master Authentic Voice. You are listening to Noon with Natalie. So stay tuned for the next episode. I am a speaking and presentation skills coach. So for those of you who are feeling challenged in that area, whether it be a conversation or a small group presentation or that big keynote that you need to get ready, please make sure to reach out at nataliemayotte.com. Whatever you choose to do today, have a fantastic day. Claudia, thank you for being with me.
Thank you.
Take care and have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.